out of Fiji and slap Taylor out of the villa. I don't know if I want to fly to New York and slap every one of the jurors that was on the case. Because Lord, the Hot Topics are doing too much for me today.
Diddy was found guilty and also not guilty. Let's talk about it. Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amoni, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing the recent verdict ruling concerning Diddy. Now, some days ago it was established that the jury found Diddy guilty for 2 of the charges and not guilty for 3 charges. Now, the 3 charges were the charges that were the most serious ones.
Count 1, racketeering conspiracy, not guilty. Count 2, not guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, not guilty. Count 5, guilty. So essentially, the jurors found that he was guilty of the Mann Act. That is the transportation to engage in prostitution. They found him not guilty on trafficking, very serious charge there where he could have spent a minimum of 15 years in prison, and not guilty on that racketeering conspiracy, which he could have spent up to life in prison for.
But the other 2 that he was found guilty also has time. They also would require him to spend some time in jail, but not as much as what he would have gotten with the 3 other charges. Anyway, people had a lot to say about the ruling, about the jury, about the judge, about Diddy, about Diddy's family. So let's check out what they have to say, and then I'll come back to share my thoughts. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe. And don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now let's get into this video.
I'm not even sure if I would say there would be an appeal, because for Sean Combs and his defense team, this is a massive win. 3 of the counts that had a life sentence possibility are gone. When it comes to transportation to engage in the minimum is nothing. There's a theoretical possibility that he walks out on probation. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, but the max is 10 years. Even if you were to take both sentences, and he's not going to get 10 years, they're going to look at his criminal history, mitigating circumstances, aggravating circumstances, and I would assume that he gets somewhere in the middle ground, maybe like 3 to 5 years, 3 to 6 years, possible through that sentencing range for each count. Sean Combs going to trial where he was facing life and being able to walk out with something under 10 years, well under 10 years possibly, that is a victory. Will he appeal? Sure, that's his right to do so, but I don't see an appeal here. I think you take this as a win, you serve the few years that you may get, and you be happy that you didn't get life. I'm somewhat shocked as to the trafficking for Cassie. I thought that might have been a stronger case for the government. I didn't think that they had the RICO, and I definitely didn't think they had the Jane trafficking. But this is, I think in only so many words, and I keep saying it, I think this is a positive result for Sean Combs and his team.
So Puffy was found not guilty in the racketeering RICO charge. He was found guilty on both of the transportation for prostitution, which we all already thought, but he was also found not guilty of the trafficking charges against Cassie and Jane Doe. Now remember, the charges still carry 10 years, max 10 years. So that could be up to 20 years, given on how the severity, what the judge looks at, his past, his conduct, all of that type of stuff. So he is basically looking at up to 20 years for these 2 transporting for prostitution with Cassie and for Jane Doe. But wow, he got off on the RICO and he got off on the trafficking charges. That's major for him, and woo.
Here's my 2 cents. I don't think the American people are smart enough to sit on juries. And I have said for a very long time that a juror should be somebody who actually takes classes so that at the very base level, they understand legal jargon and prove that they have some concept of the law. And this is coming from years of observation, because my father was a criminal trial attorney who specialized in criminal and constitutional law, who also wrote this book, Raw Law, that was published by Simon & Schuster. So as someone who would sit in courtrooms while my father tried cases, and sitting with him as he developed specific stories and anecdotes to tell in his book, to witness and even hear some of the wildest stories from jurors to my father, like him running into a juror sometime after a case that he tried, and the juror telling my father that some people in the jury room believed that my father's client was guilty simply because of the way that my father dressed, and they believed that he had to be guilty in order to be able to afford an attorney like my father. No facts about the case, nothing about what his client was actually charged with, but how my father, the attorney, came dressed to court. We don't even understand half the shit that attorneys be saying during the trial anyway. Nah, nope.
Okay, y'all. How much money y'all think Diddy done dished out paying off people to get off the way he did? You mean to tell me he only got found guilty of 2 counts out of the 5 counts that was against him? Like, ain't no way. I don't understand. All the evidence, the video footage, and the testimonies, and he only got found guilty on 2 counts. Wow, this judicial system that we have is something else. Okay, so do y'all think he about to serve more time, or do y'all think he about to just walk because for time served, because he's already been serving time during this whole trial? I know it's about to be a whole lot of people livid behind this mess. And Cassie, bless her heart, everything that she's been through and sitting up there during the trial, giving her testimony and having to relive all that stuff. I just can only imagine her feelings after hearing the verdict.
Okay, I know a lot of people beat me up about it, but I was right. Like I said, while those charges might have been able to be proven technically, it wasn't a slam dunk. But what I said was he was not going to be able to run away from that transportation. And he got both of them. So if you have not seen it yet, Diddy is not guilty for the Frico Rico. He's not guilty for the trafficking of Cassie or the trafficking of Jane. But he is guilty of the transportation for the acts that you get paid for type-ish. And after you... So he's guilty on 2 charges of the 5, okay? So not guilty for trafficking Cassie, not guilty for trafficking Jane, but he is guilty under Cassie and Jane in regards to the transportation for the acts for payment. Nothing for Rico. So there you have it. Like I've been saying, I didn't think he was going under the jail, but I did think he was going to be found guilty. And let's see what they're talking about for sentences. Diddy guilty on 2 of 5 charges.
I'm going to make this quick. If you helped tarnish Diddy's reputation throughout this entire trial process, if you reposted memes, if you commented shit like "nice try, Diddy," especially if you testified against him, if you did anything to tarnish this man's reputation, you might want to lay low for a little while, because this bitch is about to get released and shit is about to get ugly. I also want to say, what justice system?
Well, damn. How was he found not guilty on racketeering, but y'all found him guilty for transportation? So if he was transporting prostitutes, is that not... I'm confused. I think about what type of precedent this is going to set for victims of domestic violence. Especially if your abuser is a wealthy and powerful and famous person. I hope he gets the maximum. Because we all know everything that they said in that court he was accused of doing. We all know that he did that shit. So I really just hope they throw the book at him. I want to see him behind bars. I do. I want him in an orange prison jumpsuit. I want to know his fucking inmate cell number, all that shit. Because we all know. Did he do it? He did. He did. But I guess the prosecution couldn't make a case that stuck to the jury on racketeering. But anybody with 2 functioning brain cells knows Diddy did that shit.
I knew it. P. Diddy walks. Have y'all heard the news? P. Diddy was only charged with 2 counts of... And that's it. Everything else, the RICO charges, everything else, he was found not guilty. I feel bad for every single person that testified against him. I honestly feel like I would be scared for my life if I was them. Even Cassie, like I you know, it's just a lot of situations like this that just, I knew he was not going to get charged with those big charges. I knew, because he has too much money, y'all. The same reason Trump is a felon and he's literally in office. He's serving no time. He got literally no time for any of his charges. And then when Trump said that he was going to pardon Diddy, I just knew immediately that he was going to think about pardoning Diddy. I knew immediately that behind closed doors, there was a deal probably made with the judge. They're saying he's probably going to serve a maximum of 10 years. Do you guys really think he's going to serve 10 years? Nah. He might serve 3, 4, but that man's going to be out before Cassie's kids are even grown. Yeah, I'll be moving to another country. I'm not gonna lie, that's some scary-ish. But yeah, Diddy is not guilty for most of them. Crazy news.
Diddy was not at the top of the ring, okay? And it sounded like it was a Fed operation. And so it was a show trial because the Feds are never going to reveal the Feds that are in control of an operation. And the minute that they did not bring Christina Karam, the involvement that this woman have, apparently it's like having a Jeffrey Epstein trial and not like a public Jeffrey Epstein trial and not mentioning or bringing up Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, that's how you know it was a show trial. So this whole fake, oh my God, I can't believe you got away with it. Of course you got away with it. This was a Fed operation. That is my viewpoint. I am never going to change it. I think he's the Jeffrey Epstein of the hip hop world. He was doing what he was supposed to do and what he was told to do. And we're never going to get any information because now everyone's gotten their show trial and there are people on the streets that are pouring baby oil on top of themselves. I'm not kidding. His fans and supporters, as a show of support, it's disgusting. I'm laughing at just the state of humanity today because women are in the streets throwing baby oil on themselves, excited that he is found not guilty on the bigger charges. And I'm maybe asking for a reset. We just need to like reset on humanity, just like kind of, woo, back to the factory settings here.
Kid you not. People are pouring baby oil on one another outside this courthouse. Baby oil having a very big play in the freak-offs we heard about.
Lord, I don't know if I want to fly to Fiji and slap Taylor out of the villa. I don't know if I want to fly to New York and slap every one of the jurors that was on the case. Because, Lord, the hot topics are doing too much for me today. But let's get into the only I told you so I need to hear is that I told you that the prosecution should have had an ironclad case so that they could have proved in totality everything of which they accused that man of, because he most definitely did it. But because they wanted to rush it and go with the momentum of the public opinion at the time because of the Cassie tapes that had just been released, they wanted to rush it. And now we stuck with the verdict that we got now. The only person that I feel like they shouldn't have brought up there was 50 Cent baby mama. Because I don't know how you expect to take trash from somebody else and expect to not end up in the trash bin. Do you hear me? But other than that, it was very much so clear that he used his money, power, and influence to manipulate and emotionally abuse people to do what he wanted them to do, when he wanted them to do it, and how he wanted them to. And he had a whole organization of people who would protect him and make sure that those things actually happen. And when it come down to the Cassie slander that y'all about to start up all over again, y'all can cut it. Because that girl was a victim and she did what she had to do or what she felt she could do in the situation and the cards of which she was dealt. Everybody not going to make the same decisions. Everybody not going to be as strong. Everybody don't have as strong of a mindset to get out of toxic situations. Just because you Mighty Joe Young and you would have fought and you would have went broke and you would have lived on the side of a street because you strong and that's how you live and that's how you operate, don't mean that every woman is like that. Everybody not strong-willed like that. So y'all don't get to judge her because she did something different than what you would do in the situation. It's so crazy to me that now we so hard up because of social media and everything else that if we did not directly deal with something or if somebody close to us didn't directly deal with something, then we don't have no understanding or compassion for somebody else in a situation.
He being found not guilty on federal racketeering is not proof the justice system finally did right by black men. It's proof that power protects power even when it's wearing black skin. Let's be real. Diddy had a legal army. Lawyers who beat RICO cases, who make judges lean back in their chairs and rethink law. Meanwhile, the average black man in this country gets a public defender drowning in 200 other cases and is pushed into a plea deal before he even understands the charges. So no, this wasn't justice. It was class warfare in a courtroom suit. He walked on, but found guilty on 2 Mann Act charges for transporting women for vindication. The kind of charges they used to bury poor folks under the prison. But Diddy had elite lawyers, PR teams, jury consultants. He didn't walk because the facts saved him. He walked because capitalism gave him a sword and a shield. Don't let them feed you illusions of progress. Most poor black men would have taken a plea before jury selection even began. Don't have $10,000 for a pretrial expert? Too bad. Can't make bail? Sit your ass in county jail. Get hit with multiple charges? They stack them until you fold. This is how capitalism punishes poverty and protects wealth, no matter your skin color. This case is not about whether Diddy is innocent. It's about how justice is a product for sale with tiered pricing. And if you can't afford the deluxe package, you don't get due process. You get processed. This system does not defend the poor. It does not defend the working class. It does not even pretend to. Diddy just had enough money to rent temporary elite whiteness.
Congratulations.
Being a freak is not illegal. So we can make all the memes and the jokes about the lube and the baby oil and all that stuff. But being weird is not a crime.
Without giving too much of an opinion, I feel like just how people saw him before was slightly changed compared to now.
The things that they did get him for, kind of saw that coming. But the other things seemed like they were just trying to tack on more things. And as soon as they dropped some of the charges, I knew that was it. It was done.
I couldn't see it being guilty all the way down.
No, he's not free, right? He's federally convicted and some of y'all are just illiterate. I mean, some of y'all are really on social media throwing up W's like Diddy just dodged the Matrix, walked out the courtroom clean and dropped the remix. Let me correct you with precision real quick. You know Diddy isn't free, right? He's a convicted felon now. Found guilty on 2 counts of violating the Mann Act. That's interstate under a different name. Each charge carries up to 10 years. That's 20 max. Talking about free, he ain't free. That man waiting on sentencing. See, here's what he beat versus what beat him. He's not guilty on the record or the involving Cassie or Jane. However, the man is guilty on transporting Cassie and Jane for. And I don't know about some of y'all, that's not a W in my book. That's called splitting the losses. And y'all really celebrating like he got a Grammy. No, the man just got a record. Not the good kind. And some of y'all actually typed he's free. He beat the case. Free where?
Diddy's lawyers are trying to have him walk out the courtroom right now like nothing happened, like he wasn't just found guilty on 2 counts. Like, are you serious? Judge is like, you mean like to let him walk out the building like right now? And they're like, yeah. What? You want $1 million bond that he can pay right now and literally have travel from New York, LA, and somewhere else, Florida, where he lives at. Like, what? Are they crazy? And of course the U.S. is opposing this because they're like, no, he can't just be released after he was just found guilty on some of those counts. Like, what? He should be detained until a judicial officer finds that he's not going to flee the country or, be a danger to somebody. The judge basically says he's not going to, handle this right now. Like, he planned to be there the whole day, so they're going to work this out. But, like, what? Are y'all really going to let this man get out free? Oh, my gosh. I don't know what's going to happen. But they're saying, like, he needs a maximum sentence of, like, 20 years in prison. Like, I mean, he was guilty, found guilty on some of those counts. Like, what?
Diddy ain't coming home. Bail's been denied. The judge has said no. He has been convicted on count 3 and 5. For that reason, bail is denied. Finally, something half decent to come out from today.
Diddy was just denied bail. After being found guilty on 2 counts, yes, the 2 lesser counts, Diddy's defense decided they were trying to throw a massive Hail Mary today. They asked the judge to send him home to his Miami mansion with $1 million cash bond, family co-signers, and no access to his grounded private jet. Like that was supposed to prove that he wouldn't vanish so fast. The judge, not impressed. He flat out said no. Why? Because Diddy has a years-long pattern of violence and continues to be a danger to others. That's not my opinion. That's from the bench. Let that sink in for a second. Meanwhile, rumor has it that the family had an entire 4th of July celebration party planned for his homecoming. Almost like this was some sort of like delayed vacation, not a
The worst part about all of this is that people are saying that because he wasn't convicted of the most serious charges, that allegedly there were no victims. I'll tackle that in another video, but just so we're clear here, being acquitted does not mean innocent. It means that the prosecution failed to prove burden without reasonable doubt. Big difference, especially when you have a man who has this type of power, fame, and history. But for now, Diddy stays right where he is, locked up.
His sentencing has been set for October 3rd, but the judge has said he is willing to expedite it, which Diddy's defence want. Diddy's team are arguing that his sentence should start at 21 months, where the US government are actually saying 51 months. Bearing in mind, Sean Combs has already served 10 months imprisonment. So as it stands right now on October the 3rd, 2025 at 10 AM New York time, Diddy will face his sentence. They are also going to hold a hearing on July the 8th. This will be to see if they can push sentencing from October and make it much sooner. Now, the fact that P. Diddy has been denied bail is a good thing. We've got a judge here who is thinking logic. I personally can't see this going until October. Diddy's defence will not allow this to happen. They are saying other trials that are less big, apparently, have been sentenced quicker. And they're kind of right. Something tells me Diddy's reaction right now does not look like it did at the verdict. But if I hear any more updates or anything happens, I will be sure to drop a video. Let's just hope his sentence is lengthy.
Prayer and mouth, thank you at the jury. That's the right thing to say, Sean Combs. He pumped his right fist. Yep, this is exactly the right attitude for Sean Combs, who just got away with serious felonies, in my view. He's guilty as sin, in my view, and this jury just gave him a total pass. They bought Mark Agnifalo's argument, it appears, the same one that did not work for Agnifalo in the Nexium cult case out of Albany, New York, in which he went in there and said, these women, we don't do cults. Women are powerful. Women make their own decisions. These women up in this other case chose to have themselves branded. No one made them with this guy's initials. And he tried the same thing here, but with a much, much better result. This is a win for Sean Diddy Combs. There's no question about it. The minimum charge or the charges likely on this particular count are far less serious. It calls for up to 10 years in prison. There's no way he's going to get 10 years in prison on these two, unless you have a judge who's very, very angry for some reason. We looked at the federal sentencing guidelines, which are just recommendations. The judge doesn't have to follow them. He can go any place between 0 and 10. But we deduced that he has an offense level of about 26 points, which calls for a sentence of 5.25 years to 6.5 years in prison. The base offense level for this crime we deduced to be about 14. This is all on a sliding scale. Plus you add another 4 levels because the offense may have involved coercion. Anyway, and then another 4 for causing another person to engage in an act. So if they believe that, if this judge says that that's what happened, he could be facing 5 or 6 years in prison.
Before we do anything else, and I mean anything else, can we take a second to think about the victims who put themselves in danger by coming forward, blew up their lives by coming forward to testify against Diddy to only be let down by this verdict? Can we take a second for them? I'm sure you've seen the verdict by now. I'm not going to go into it. My focus is on the women and the victims, men as well, who have come forward, who have been let down, who will be feeling incredibly let down by this decision that's been made by the jury. Sentencing hasn't happened yet. Sentencing will happen, I think, in a few days' time. I'm thinking the 4th. But the vindication this is going to give Diddy and people like Diddy who use their power to extort, abuse, and harass people, the vindication that this is going to give those people is going to be monumental. Absolutely monumental. Both of the charges that he has been found guilty of carry a maximum of 10 years prison time. But already in court today, Diddy's lawyer was like, release him now. We want him released now. We want him on bail. So they're already pushing for him to be released now. If this man is released, and I will say this very confidently, if this man is released within a year, maximum 2 years, he's going to be back making money, joking, and making light of this whole situation and cracking on with his life, while his victims are going to be dealing with the impact and fallout of his behavior towards them. This is what's going to happen. It's clear as day. And this is why people do not come forward with their complaints about being abused because they're not taken seriously and their voices are not heard in the court system.
Now, people have different opinion about it. Some people are disappointed. Some people are happy. Some people are saying that he was still found guilty, so he's still going to go to jail, or still staying in jail because he's already in jail. People are not surprised about him not being found guilty on the RICO charges. It was a variety of opinion, and I would love to find out what you think about the ruling. Do you think it was fair? Do you think it was unfair? Please leave your comments in the comment section. Now, personally, when I saw that the jury have reached a verdict, I was seriously praying that I'd be found guilty. And this is just me saying it. I was really like praying when I saw that he was found guilty for some and he was not found guilty for some. I was so confused. And then I saw people explaining what exactly is going on. They said he was found guilty on the lesser charges, and the more serious ones that the feds wanted him to be found guilty on, he was not found guilty on. And while I don't like it, I was not surprised because previously it was said that the prosecutors had dropped some charges. So I was feeling like, okay, that means that there are some things that they did not have complete, and they found out that they won't be able to get him charged on that. So when I saw that he was found not guilty for some charges, I was not entirely surprised. But I don't know, people are saying that the 2 charges that he was found guilty of, he might not get a lot of time. I was hearing that they are asking for 51 months, including the amount of time he has spent in jail. And the prosecution is looking for more years. Now, from what people are saying, that each of the charges that he was found guilty of, that the maximum is 10 years for each. So that could be 20 years. But a lot of people are saying that he's probably not going to get up to 20 years. Some people are saying he might just get 3 years, he might get 5 years, he might get 51 months. Personally, and this is my own personal opinion, I want him to get at least 10 years. This is just my personal preference or whatever. This is me talking, because I don't trust him not to attack the people that spoke against him. I am so afraid for all those people that have spoken against him. I'm so afraid for their lives. Like when they said he was going to be released that day, I was so scared. And when the judge said, no, you are not going home, I was like, thank you, Jesus. I know it might be a bad thing, but I was just so happy that he was not being released. So because of that reason, I just feel like he should stay for at least 10 years in jail, so that by the time he comes out, he's less likely to be a bother to the people that spoke against him. Now, I know that that might not be possible, because quite a lot of people are saying that that might not be possible, that I might just get maybe less than 5 years. Some people are even saying he might get 2 years, and that would also include the amount of time that he has already spent in jail. Now, the sentencing was supposed to be October 3rd, but some people are saying that his lawyers are asking that they meet July 8th, and maybe they bring forward the sentencing that is too long from July, I think first that I was found guilty, till October 3rd is about 3 months, and they're like, it's too long for the charges that is supposed to be sentenced earlier, so that I can also begin to start his sentencing. But I don't know, we'll see what happens July 8th. If the judge doesn't accept the statement or the argument from his lawyers, it's still going to be October 3rd. Now, personally, I think that the judge doesn't really like what the jury did. He feels like Diddy is a dangerous person, which was why when he brought up the 1 million bond and everything, and he was like, nope, go back to jail, straight to go back to jail, do not do anything. He just decided that it's too dangerous for him to be brought out. Then Cassie sending a letter to the judge that he should please not release him because she's afraid for her life, which is one of the reasons why I want him to spend a lot of time in jail. I'm afraid for Cassie. I'm afraid for all the people that spoke against him, because he is a very vindictive person and he has money. Even if he doesn't do anything directly to them, he could get people that will take the fall for him and do things. So I really don't want him out. I want him to stay in jail and pay for his sins. Then when he comes out, hopefully he will have a new mindset. He will not be so aggressive and not be so violent, and will not have some of the characters that he has landed in this situation. Anyway, that is my own thought about it. I know that some people are not going to like it. Some people are going to say, oh, you people want to bring a black man down. Oh, you people are like this. Oh, Cassie got money, so why is everybody like that? Why is everybody hating on him? It's not a crime to be freaky, blah 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 and the rest. But me personally, I know I'm biased, but after the things that he has done to people, after the things he did to Cassie, after the things he did to other people, I'm not a fan of him not going to jail for his sins, in my own opinion, or for his crimes. So that is my own feeling. That is my own thought about the whole case. I don't know why the jury found him not guilty. There must be something that they've seen that they found him not guilty for the serious charges. But like I said, when I saw that the prosecution were dropping some charges, I just knew that maybe what was put as evidence was not strong enough. So I was expecting it to go either way, but I was praying that it would be found guilty. And then it went both ways. It was found not guilty for some and it was found guilty for some. But I think they thought that the ones it was found guilty for, it's not so strong. So from what I heard, he and his family were happy when he was found not guilty for the more serious ones. So they felt like, oh, he was coming home that day. And when the judge said no, everybody was shocked because they expected him to be released and then come back for his sentencing. But when they saw that, they were like, whoa, this is not going the way we wanted. Some people are saying he's going to get probation plus time he has served. We don't know anything. I don't know about the thought process of the judge. We will know when he is sentenced, which we don't know whether it's going to be this month or maybe in August or September or October like it was originally planned. Anyway, that is my thought about the whole verdict, the jury verdict concerning Diddy. I would love to hear what you think. Do you think the jury were fair in their decision, or do you think that the jury were wrong to find him not guilty for the more serious charges? Do you think that they were being paid or maybe threatened like some people have said? Or do you think they were afraid of Diddy? I don't know what you think about it. I would love to know. So please leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe. And don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.